welcome. So today's video is also on the top of my most requested videos, and this one is going to be about handling your snake. And as a snake owner, I can completely understand why you would like to handle your snake. I too sometimes have a little bit of trouble. I really need to remind myself that they are not pets, that they are not a dog or a cat who might enjoy getting pet, that they are reptiles, and that you only handle them for your own amusement. Today's video is most for beginners, that people who's never ever handled a snake, or people who's only done it a few times. Maybe you've just bought your new snake and you're a little bit worried on how you're going to deal with it when it's in the terrarium, how to take it out, how to hold it, and in general you're a little bit nervous about the whole thing. So today's video is for you. I will start by handling a very small snake, and then I will gradually take a bigger and bigger snake until I get to one of my big boas. You may not be in the situation where you need to deal with a big boa, but I still wanted to show you guys because the principle of handling a snake is basically the same no matter the size. But first off, a few tips and tricks. Before handling, you might be very nervous and your hands might be shaking a little bit, and you might also be sweating a little bit. I can totally understand that. So the first most important thing you need to do, just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and calm yourself, because the more calmer that you are, the better the whole experience will be for you and your snake. You need to remember that the snake does not have any arms or legs or anything that it can grab onto. It only has its body, and that is why it will try to grab around your hand, because it needs something to hold on to. And you may not be thinking about it that way before, but I really hope you are now. The snake is not trying to harm you, it's simply trying to hold on to you, because of course it doesn't want to fall down. The snake has no interest in harming you. Why should it have? Snakes, they only kill to eat, and the snake would much rather just hang out in its terrarium all day. I can also understand if you're afraid of getting bitten. It doesn't happen that often with the beginner snake. Of course, it does happen sometimes. I myself have been bitten a few times, and every time it was completely my own mistake. The dumbest thing I've ever done was that I went down in the morning. I just woke up. I went down to check on my rats, and I had them out, and I gave them a little cuddle, and then I went upstairs. I didn't wash my hands or anything, and I just took out a ball python, just like grab it and took it out. And of course, because my hands were smelling so much of rat, the ball python thought it was food, and he bit me. He let go immediately because he could feel that the prey, that my hand was too big for him to eat, so he just let go of it immediately. So that's also one thing you really need to remember when handling. Don't smell of rat or mice. There are different ways you can handle. You can do it by, just your hands, or you can use a snake hook. This is a snake hook, and what you basically do is that you put it underneath the snake and you do like this. I usually don't use a snake hook. I have done it a few times if I need to get one of the boas out who is like far away inside the terrarium. Usually I just use my hand. So we're not gonna be using the snake hook today. We're just gonna be using our hands. Before we start to handle, I want to give you a few more tips and tricks when handling. Of course, I am gonna repeat them to you again as I'm doing the handling, but I really want to get the opportunity to say them all now so I don't forget any of them while I'm handling. The first thing you should really remember is that you need to give the snake as much support as you possibly can, which means that you basically have to grab it by the mid of the body and then just keep it as much as you can, keep as much as you can of the snake in your hand, because that gives it the way of feeling more safe and you're supporting it very well. So that's rule number one, give it plenty of support. The second thing that you need to remember when handling is that don't ever grab a snake by the head. Most snakes are a bit head shy, which means that they can become a little bit aggressive if you grab them by the head, and that may result in a bite. So never ever do that. But if you don't touch the head and if you leave that alone, grab by the middle, the snake will probably just leave you alone. The third thing you need to remember is to never ever pick it up by the tail alone, because if you pick it up just by the tail alone, you are in the risk of harming the entire spine, and that can cause some severe damage. So never ever pick up the snake by the tail alone. Always remember, as I said before, give it as much support as you possibly can. The fourth thing you need to remember is only if you have a baby snake. Baby snakes do have a tendency to look a little bit more aggressive. They might hiss at you, or they might flicker their tail, telling you, I'm dangerous, don't come near me. Usually they're just bluffing. Usually. You can take a bite from a young snake or from a baby snake because they can be a bit, a little bit defensive, but usually they are bluffing. You will more often see an aggressive snake when they're young, when they're hatchling, than when they're older and have a bigger size, because they're simply more comfortable that way. body. The fifth and last thing you definitely need to remember when handling is that the handling is for your amusement. It's not for the snakes. The snake did not ask to be handled, so it is your responsibility that everything is going fine, and you need to put the safety of the snake first. Alright, that was all the talking. Let's get to the handling. The first one we're gonna start with is Queenie. Alright guys, we're gonna have a look at little Queenie. I do believe that she's right underneath the hide here. Queenie, who is a corn snake, is very, very small. She's 1 year old, but she's relatively small of her age. Let's get to it. Let's see. There is Queenie. Alright, as you can see, she's a little bit tense and she is laying all still, so she's definitely watching us. Her tongue is not flickering, and that is the sign that she is tense. When snakes are flickering their tongue, oh, there it was. When snakes are flickering their tongue and looking around, that is generally a sign of them being more curious and a little bit more comfortable. So Queenie here is a little bit tense, but that is alright. What you need to remember with baby snakes such as Queenie is that they are fast and they're small, which means that they can easily get damaged. So we really have to take care of Queenie's spine and make sure that we don't hurt her. So let's try and see. Remember what I talked about before? We really need to support most of her body, like this. Whoops, not by the head. And here we have her. So you can see Queenie quite alive. She really wants to crawl, so I basically just let her do that. Just be very, very calm. Oh, Queenie. Alright, this was a bit easier showing you the handling. As you can see, Queenie, she's very, very curious, and she really, really likes to crawl around. Some snakes, like the ball python, just tends to curl up and just lay in your hand. Queenie here, she's very curious. So what you basically have to do is just calm down and just have her crawl around. Always remember to support most of her body so she gets a good grip on you. And then that is pretty much it with the smaller snakes. The next one we're gonna have a look at is Marble. And Marble is my 1 year old baby boa. She's a super ivory ghost, and she's a little bit bigger, if not a lot bigger, than Queenie is. So let's see if she wants to say hello. And as I talked about before, grab by the middle and remember to support her as quickly as possible. Right, that was pretty easy. Same principle as before. Oops, she wants to go up. Same principle as before, just remember to support as much as the body as you can. Don't grab the head and just relax. Just let them crawl on you. There's no need for you to squeeze on them or to hold on them. You can see that's very unpleasant for them. Just calm, just relax, just have them move around if they want to, and they most certainly always will, especially when they're younger. It's when they get older they get a bit more calm. Alright, so that was Marble. Let's give her some quiet. As you can see, Marble is holding on my hand here when putting her down. You can't just wait for her to let go. See? She did that all by herself. But if you would like to, what can we say, give them a hand or have them let go more quickly, you can grab the tail and then just quickly take it off, you know, like this. The next one we're gonna say hi to is Alistair. Alistair is my sun-girl boa. He is a little bit over 2 years old, and as you can see, he's a lot bigger than both Queenie and Marble. Alistair here is usually very, very nice when we get him out, so let's get to it. Same principle as before, like I talked about, grab as much as the body as you can, and then just up. As you can see, I can pretty much have Alistair in one hand right now. I'm supporting most of his body with one hand. Usually Alistair really does like to crawl around, and for that I will need two hands because he is kind of big. See, he's holding. There. He will let go when he's ready. Alright. Thank you, Alistair. The next one we're going to have a look at is Rasputin. Rasputin, you've already met in some of my earlier videos. He's my Colombian Mudley. And as you may have seen in my, I believe it was in my celebrating 500 subscribers. Let's see if he wants to say hi. It's the same principle. Grab as much of the body as you can, giving him as much support as you possibly can. Look at this, looking gorgeous. Rasputin is definitely doing much better now than he was since. Look at how I'm having my hands, giving him as much support as I can on the middle of his body and down. The snake's heart is located pretty far up, so it's very important that you hold it on the mid and down. As you can see, Rasputin is squeezing my hand. He was squeezing it very hard. It can be a sign that the snake is a little bit tense, but it can also be a sign that he's holding on. You can see he's holding on here right now, making sure. But yes, Rasputin is doing very well. Alright, let's put my big beautiful boy down so he can go into his full shed. Thank you, Rasputin. Also, I've talked about before, when they're being a little bit active, tongues out means that they are active, means that they are curious, they are looking around. He's pretty calm. He's doing so well. He's my absolute gorgeous boy. Alright, thank you very much, Rasputin. As you can see, same principle, giving them as much support as you possibly can. Same principle with little Queenie as it is with big Rasputin here. The only difference is the size and the weight. Right, thank you, Rasputin. Let's put him down. Ever so gently. The more calm you are, the more calm the snake is. The most important thing to do is to never ever panic. And I know that can be difficult if your snake won't let go, but the more you fight against them, the harder they will squeeze. And that way you can panic. Don't ever panic. Take a deep breath and calm down. Everything is gonna be perfect. Alright guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this video on me showing you how to handle. I actually just thought of something funny, and I'm going to show you, because what I do have is this pillow of a snake. So in this way, I thought that I would show you how to handle as well with a non-living snake, just so you really can get a look at where is the proper place to hold them. A good place to hold your snake, like I talked about before, is the middle. That's where you give the most support. The snake has no problem holding the head. What you should not do is grab the head. Never ever take it up in the tail alone. You are in the risk of harming the entire spine of the snake, even though some of the biggest snakes are very strong and probably could deal with it. The smaller snakes are not that strong yet, and you could seriously harm them. Always be calm. Just give them support. No need for squeezing. Don't pull in them. Don't do anything. Just support. It might be a little bit uncomfortable for you if they squeeze you. It's okay. They might be a bit tense, or they're just holding on to you. You need to just relax and get used to it. The snake not trying to harm you, it's just trying to hold on. The calmer you are, the calmer the snake is. Support. That's your prime goal when handling a snake. Alright, thank you guys so much. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Please give the video a like so I know that you like what I make. It really does mean a lot to me. Also, while you're at it, just hit subscribe on that channel. As usual, you can find me on Instagram under the name jossersjungle. Thank you so much for now, guys, and bye bye!